Big news, guys. Hyundai have finally revealed proper, concrete details of the forthcoming Ioniq 6N, and I am gassed. And if you're not, there's something wrong with you. I don't know, bro, fix up. Check this out. It's Hyundai's fastest, most aggressive electric car yet. 650 horsepower, 770 newton meters, 0 to 62 in 3.2 seconds, and we know it's gonna be an absolute drift machine. The 6N is the heir to the performance EV throne, if you ask me, the baby brother to the already amazing Ioniq 5N, which was my car of the year 2024. So, with the 6 being very closely related to the 5, I think we can start to appreciate just how much potential this has. Let me give you the basics. The 6N is based on the Ioniq 6, but has some N treatment, courtesy of Hyundai's N division. N stands for Namyang, by the way, referring to Hyundai's global R&D center in South Korea, or Nürburgring, where the cars are actually tested and tuned. The 6N is lower, tick, wider, tick, has big 20-inch Pirelli P0s and aero that actually works. Check out the motorsport style swan neck rear wing, that is lovely. And the stance of the thing, it just looks track ready, doesn't it? Way more serious than the standard car. Okay, let's look at it in detail. I won't lie to you, the Ioniq 6 for me had a questionable front end, a little weak if you ask me, but they've addressed that, big style. They've swapped out the rounded headlights for slim horizontal pixel DRLs and a horizontal main beam just below. Underneath that, the entire front end is blacked out, giving it a more menacing look with horizontal slats and distinctive aero with red pinstriping that wraps all the way around the car. The paint is worth discussing as well. It might look like the normal Hyundai Performance Blue, but here they've given it a new pearl finish and called it Performance Blue Pearl. And from what I can make out, it looks like a step up. Okay, the sides. The major change here, wider fenders plus new wheels and tires. 275/30/20s all around, an inch smaller in diameter versus the 5N, but the wheel detail looks noticeably more interesting than on the 5N thanks to cutouts on the spokes. As for the tires, they're Pirelli P05s made specifically for this car, as you can tell thanks to the HN marking on the rubber. Plus, we also have that red pinstriping which extends all the way along the side and round to the back. And on that subject, doesn't the back look amazing? This was always the best angle on the 6 for me, and the 6N takes it to another level. The old spoiler, which looked a bit plasticky and a bit like a piano, has been swapped out for a swan neck wing that just looks mega to me. Very, very motorsport. And the hundreds of pixels across the back, well, that's been toned down a lot, with 8 small pixels instead of 800. Plus a new lower bumper with loads of black to make it look a bit more focused. Side note, it actually looks a lot meaner than even the back of the 5N. The 5N was giving me hot hatch vibes, but the 6N is giving me supercar vibes. Can't wait for this car. Inside, no big surprises. It kind of feels like a 6 here. So you get dual screens, the ambient lighting, quite a lot of physical buttons, which makes a nice change in today's day and age where everything's normally done through screens. And you get the usual luxuries like USB ports, wireless phone charging, plus more importantly, sport seats with a mixture of Alcantara and leather. Oh, and a backlit N logo just below the headrest. That's a nice touch. It's also got a ton of blue stitching to make it look a bit more interesting and memorable, and even a decent amount of room in the back of the car as well. From a driver's point of view though, what you need to know is that it has all the N accoutrements that you might expect, and that includes the simulated engine sounds. So let's hear a little bit of that right now. They haven't really tried that hard to copy a real engine, but I think that's part of the charm really. It's fake, so why try and make it sound real? Anyway, there's also an E-shift, which gives you the feeling of a manual gearbox that you control using the paddles behind the steering wheel, and it worked really well on the 5N, so I expect it's going to be brilliant here as well. Plus, get this, the ambient lighting also changes when you need to shift up. So not only will you hear when you've got to change gear, you'll see it. And if you mistime your shift, you'll feel it when you're bouncing off the rev limiter. Pretty cool. The 6N also has N launch control, so you can do 0 to 62 in 3.2 seconds. N drift optimizer, which lets you slide the thing. Again, this worked really well on the 5N, and here's a shot of me skidding that. You're welcome. So I'm sure it's going to work on the 6N pretty well as well. In fact, it goes a step further because you can now fine-tune the slide parameters, including when the drift initiates, the angle you slide at, how much wheel spin you get, and a load of other features. We'll have to wait and see whether that gets in the way of your tire destruction or if it actually helps, but I'm optimistic. Will it be better than the 5N? Logic says probably. The 6, to me, drives better than the 5. It seemed to have a lower center of gravity and just felt inherently more agile. So there's every likelihood that the 6N will be superior to the 5N in this regard as well. In fact, Hyundai say that it has a lower roll center and some new chassis tech, including new stroke sensing electronically controlled suspension that gives you a broader range of suspension setups, from soft for the road to hard for the track. We'll see how that all works out in the real world, but again, I'm feeling super positive about this car. The only question marks right now are the range, which I'm guessing will be superior to the 5N because of better aero and an improved battery management system, and the price. It's nigh on 65 grand for the 5N, so hopefully this will come in for similar money, hopefully a bit less. So, what do you guys think? Will this be the most exciting electric performance car you can buy, period? Would you take one over a Model 3 Performance? There's a good head-to-head. Let me know if you want to see that go down. Hit me in the comments, and in the meantime, check out a review of the 5N where we raced against a Civic Type R and a Porsche Cayman. Absolute carnage. And when you're done, hit subscribe and make sure you come back so you don't miss any updates on this car and more. Catch you soon.